So hello, my name is Rob and this is Cow Rabbit Scale Model Studios, and in this video I'm going to be looking at the Army Painter 2.0 speed paints, giving you my thoughts on the paints while playing around with them. I'm also going to address the elephant in the room on some of the problems other people may have experienced and why those problems might not be as relevant as you might think. Before we get started, I would like to thank the Army Painter for sending me the 2.0 mega set to play around with. It's worth noting I'm not sponsored by the Army Painter and I'm certainly under no obligation to say anything nice about them. As always, before we get started, I'll leave any additional information in the description below, and if you enjoyed this video, please do consider liking and subscribing. Now, there's a lot to cover, so let's get started. So speed paints, Army Painter's one coat paint solution. It seems like these days every paint brand is jumping on the time-saving scene, and this is no bad thing. These paints are not only a great tool for any painter to add into their hobby arsenal, they are also great for people who maybe don't enjoy the painting side as much, or painters that just want to get the job done. No matter your skill level and whether you like these paints or not on a personal level, I don't think anyone can deny how popular they have become. So let's look at the product and a bit of an overview of what it does and how to use it. This set came with 50 18mm bottles of speed paint. There's 45 colours including 3 metallics. There is a bottle of speed paint medium, and there should be in here 4 speed paint colours from the original range. I'm not sure which ones those are as I never got to play around with them. You also get a base coating brush, which means if this is something you've picked up and is possibly your first paint set, you have everything you need to get started right out the box. The paints themselves also have a built-in agitator, which ensures when giving them a good shake, your paints have a consistent colour every time. Now when you open your paint box up for the first time, you will notice a few bits of paper. This handy leaflet on how to use your new paints, some stickers, and something I wish you saw more of, this cool book with tips and tricks full of loads of painting information. I really love stuff like this. One thing I also really like is the way they have named their colours. It's the obligatory fantasy naming system, not too dissimilar to brands like Citadel. However, they also give you a simplified explanation of what the colour is. Standout names for me are Ancient Honey and Caribbean Ocean. However, I hate when the skin of fruit is referred to as flesh, and I think I found the worst colour name ever, and it's this, Peachy Flesh. Sorry, Peachy. So let's see what these paints can actually do and how we are supposed to use them. And for this, I'm going to look at what the Army Painter recommends. Firstly, prime your miniature. They recommend in matte white, but also it states that any other colour will give a different and unique result. Shake your paint. Once again, these have built-in agitators. If the mixing balls do get stuck, you can pop a cocktail stick into the nozzle to pop them back into the bottle. This never happened to me while I was playing around with them, so I don't know if this is a common issue, but I never experienced it. Don't use a wet palette. This is because the colours can bleed through the hydration sheets, so a good old-fashioned palette is what I will be using. Then, paint your miniature. Use a generous amount on your brush and make sure it's flowing into all of the details. And lastly, once it's dry, give it a spray with matte varnish. Using these steps, I was able to paint up this cool little mushroom guy I had knocking about. He was actually primed with grey, then given a blast of white from above for a xenophore effect. I did this so I can see how the paint looks, not only over a white base coat, but also a darker coloured one as well. And all in all, this guy took me about 30 minutes. I'm pretty happy with the results. The paint flowed well and the coverage was good, and they did exactly as advertised. There was a tiny bit of staining on some of the bolder colours, but this is quite common across a variety of ranges with things like the red, where you just get a little bit of tide marks on those flatter areas. You can soften this with a little bit of medium. However, I wanted to stick to what the Army Painter had recommended, but other than that, I don't think it's that big of a problem. I also did some highlighting with normal acrylic paints afterwards, and I encountered no problem whatsoever. Now, I'm going to briefly address the 1.0 controversy of reactivation. 1.0 was supposed to be a one colour and done paint system, and well, it was. Then everyone seemed surprised that when other applications and methods were layered over this, they encountered problems. I actually spoke to the Army Painter directly about this, and they confirmed it was never designed for anything other than being a one-coat system, meaning one coat, varnish, done. I'm going to touch on this just a few more moments, but let's get the rest of the painting out of the way first. So what if you use a different paint range? I myself always use Citadel paints because they're quite easy to get hold of. My local store is 15 minutes away, so it's never an issue for me to get what I want. I actually relayered with Citadel over a lot of the work that I did, and I received no problem. My buddy Josh from Free Spires Gaming Group also painted some stuff up with the 1.0 speed paints. Same again, he was using Pro Acryl, Citadel, and he never experienced any problems whatsoever. This is something that I would encourage, is that you don't have to replace an entire range with a paint, but merely cherry pick the colours that work for you and the things you like about them, and add that into your toolkit. Now this is something I particularly wanted to highlight. Like I said, I use Citadel paints. I have for the last 5 years. It's so easy for me to get hold of them, and I have hundreds of pounds worth of these paints. So knowing how a paint range works alongside them is a massive win and a great asset to have. All in all, I think Speedpaint 2.0 is a good product, and I think this set is great, not only for beginners, but also seasoned veterans. Army Painter has always priced their product fairly, and speaking to them directly, I appreciate the passion they have for miniature painting and their products overall. However, the problem arises when functionality is overestimated. Now, before I begin, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and this critique isn't aimed at any one person. How you choose to use a product is entirely up to you, but I think with the issues people had with 1.0, it felt to me that people were a lot more on the attack when 2.0 came out. They were kind of looking for that next big flaw, and hey, drama and doom and gloom sells. This is apparent with just some of the video titles, tacking on an unbiased or honest review, followed by has it been fixed, and so on and so on. However, if I drove my car into a lake then pointed out what a terrible boat it was, I doubt anyone could really consider this a heads up or even remotely informative, and this is what I kind of feel has happened. I tend not to watch a lot of hobby stuff, especially on YouTube, outside of people I know and speak to directly, as I've never really been that interested in what other people are doing. But I did make a conscious effort to look at some of the videos that were made, and there were a lot of positives and good things pointed out in a lot of those videos. But I was also left feeling that people were using the paints in a way that they were not supposed to be used, then claiming it was an issue, and then seeing an audience almost back them up on it. There's a fantastic video by the Army Painter directly from the team explaining what they improved on for 2.0 and why certain people got the result they did, which I'll link in the comments below. It's explained far better than I could put into words, and I do recommend you check it out if I've sparked any food for thought in this video. So to close, not every product is perfect, and it's okay to not like something. Paint reviews, especially on things like YouTube, are incredibly hard to do because what I might like, someone else just might not, and vice versa. Paint is very subjective, and it's almost very personal to what someone's preference is. But even with Speedpaint 1.0, a lot of people did like it, and if it works for someone, awesome. I sincerely hope you did enjoy it and that you continue to do so. Speedpaint 2.0 came into existence because it did so well and people wanted more, and to me it does everything the Army Painter said it would do, and it does it pretty well. So look, do let me know below if you enjoyed this one and if you use Army Painter speed paints and what your experience is with them. I'd love to know if it differs from mine. Obviously, I'm sure there'll be those out there that assuming I am some sort of weird Army Painter fanboy. This isn't the case. I owned maybe 6 or 7 Army Painter war paints prior to receiving this set, but like I always say, I normally use Citadel in my videos, and you can just flick back and see that. I must admit, I really do enjoy playing around with paints and products I wouldn't normally use, and I've had a lot of fun with these, and I can't wait to find out how I can use these in conjunction with some of the paints I already have. I do just want to say a big thank you to the Army Painter for sending me this set, my buddy Josh at Free Spires Gaming Group for letting me show off his beautiful Moonstone miniatures, and Peachy from the painting phase for being such a good sport. I did get some other goodies from the Army Painter, but that is a video for a later day, so do stay tuned for that. But look, that's it from me in this one. I just wanted to offer a little bit of clarity and my opinion on not a lot of what I'd heard of before, looking at, I guess, a large selection of videos without any prior knowledge. So look, if you enjoyed this, once again, do like and subscribe. If you've got anything you want to pitch in, obviously please do it in the comments below. Once again, be kind and be constructive, but that is it from me in this one. I'll see you all next time. God bless and take care.